I'm delighted to have you as part of this community. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hello, dear viewers. Get ready to expand your horizons as we delve into 3rd Battalion, 23rd Marines. 3rd Battalion, 23rd Marine Regiment is a reserve infantry battalion in the United States Marine Corps located throughout the southern United States, consisting of approximately 800 Marines and sailors. The battalion was first formed in 1943 for service in the Central Pacific area during World War II, taking part in a number of significant battles, including those at Saipan and Iwo Jima before being deactivated at the end of the war. In the early years, the unit was reactivated as a reserve battalion. The battalion is headquartered in St. Louis, Missouri, with outlying units throughout the southern United States. Falls under the command of the 23rd Marine Regiment and the 4th Marine Division. Recent operations have included tours in Iraq and Afghanistan. As we enter this new chapter, let's navigate the complexities of current units and unravel its multifaceted nature. Name, location, headquarters and service: Company Bridgeton, Missouri TOW Section Broken Arrow, Oklahoma, India. Company North Little Rock, Arkansas. Kilo Company Smyrna, Tennessee. Lima Company Montgomery, Alabama. Weapons Company Springfield, Missouri. Now, let's delve into the intricacies of mission and explore its various aspects. The unit's mission is to provide a well-trained and credible force, capable of rapidly mobilizing to augment or reinforce active-duty Marine Corps forces participating in missions ranging from humanitarian peacekeeping operations to major conflicts in time of war, national emergency or contingency operations, and during peacetime to provide operation tempo relief for active forces throughout the spectrum of operations, including joint and combined operations. Infantry battalions are the heart and soul of the ground combat element. The mission of locating, closing with, and destroying the enemy with fire and maneuver and repelling the enemy's assault with fire and close combat lies with the grunts. Marine infantry battalions often have limited organic equipment outside of small arms maneuvering by foot as light infantry, and must be supplemented with additional trucks to become motorized infantry or amphibious assault vehicles to become mechanized infantry. Prepare yourself for an in-depth analysis of organization in this section. A Marine infantry battalion is organized into 3 rifle companies, a weapons company, and a headquarters company. The rifle company has 3 or 4 rifle platoons and a weapons platoon with medium machine guns and mortars. The weapons company includes a heavy machine gun platoon, a mortar platoon, and an assault platoon. Sometimes, the commander will mix these into combined anti-armor teams. The headquarters company includes all command, administration, intelligence, operations, logistics, and communication marines and equipment, as well as the battalion's surveillance and target acquisition teams, which include scout snipers. In the upcoming section, we'll be dissecting World War II and exploring its implications in greater detail. 3rd Battalion, 23rd Marines was activated on 22 July 1942 at what is now Marine Corps Air Station New River, North Carolina. In July 1943, the battalion relocated to Marine Corps Base Camp Pendleton, California. In August 1943, they were assigned to 4th Marine Division. This division was formed by the organization and redesignation of several other units. The 23rd Marine Regiment began as infantry detached from the 3rd Marine Division, and an artillery battalion of the 12th Marines became the genesis of the 14th Marines, and engineer elements of the 19th Marines formed the nucleus of the 20th Marines. In March, the 24th Marine Regiment was organized, and then in May it was split into to supply the men for the 25th Marines. This wartime shuffling provided the major building blocks for 4th Marine Division. The units were originally separated, however, with the 24th Marines and a variety of reinforcing units: engineer, artillery, medical, motor transport, special weapons, tanks, etc. At Camp Pendleton in California. The rest of the units were at Camp Lane, North Carolina. This East Coast echelon moved to Pendleton by train and transit of the Panama Canal in July and August 1943. When all the units were finally together, the 4th Marine Division was formally activated on 14 August 1943, with Major General Harry Schmidt in command. After intensive training, 23rd Marines shipped out on 13 January 1944, and in 13 months made 4 major amphibious assaults in the battles of Kwajalein, Roy-Nama, Saipan, Tinian, and Iwo Jima, with the division suffering more than 17,000 casualties. With the foundation laid, let's embark on a journey into Roy-Nama. An account of 23rd Marines' attack during the Battle of Roy-Nama, as dawn broke on D+1 February 1, 1944. Swabbled out of the jaws of the Ulsts and took up their circling, while the airstrikes and naval bombardment mounted in fury. Originally, 1,000 had been designated as H-hour, but, due to unforeseen difficulties such as the lack of usable Ulsts, it was changed to 1,100. As it was, the first waves did not land till nearly 1,200. RCT-23 attacked Roy with its strategic airfield. After the earth-shaking barrage of naval shells and aerial bombs, climaxed by a deluge of rockets fired from the seas, opposition on Roy was comparatively light, and the 0-1 line was reached at 12:17. After pulling back some overextended units and reorganizing, RCT-23 continued the attack about 15:30. The twisted steel skeletons of the hangars and the shattered remnants of the Jap planes were overrun, and the northern edge of the island was reached by 1800. All that remained was mopping up the enemy snipers who were still hiding in the drainage ditches. This was completed by the next morning, February 2, and at 800 Roy was declared secure. The 3rd Battalion's shore party was the Seabees of. In the upcoming section, we'll be dissecting Saipan and exploring its implications in greater detail. For Saipan, the 23rd landed on beaches Blue 1 and 2. Shore party for was the 3rd Battalion 20th Marines 121st Seabees. Let's now zoom in on Iwo Jima and uncover the hidden gems that lie within. For Iwo was commanded by Colonel Shelton Scales and was the reserve assault battalion for Yellow Beach. They landed from the USS Lones APA 154. Their assigned shore party was Celsius Company 133rd Seabees. 23rd Marine Regiment was awarded 2 Presidential Unit citations and a Navy Unit commendation, and then deactivated on 10 November 1945. As we enter this new phase, let's navigate the complexities of Operation Desert Shield Desert Storm and discover its practical applications. 3rd Battalion, 23rd Marines was activated in Nov 1990 and deployed to Saudi Arabia for Desert Shield. Was commanded by Little Ray Dawson of Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and attached to the 8th Marine Regiment of the 2nd Marine Division and deployed along the Kuwait-Saudi Arabian border conducting patrolling and security operations. 2 days before G-Day, attacked into Kuwait at Gudaya to secure forward artillery positions for the support of the attack into Kuwait. With this action, became the first unit of the 2nd Marine Division to enter combat since World War II. Continued to advance as part of 8th Marines, fighting actions into Kuwait City when the ceasefire was called. Let's now enter the realm of detailed synopsis of Desert Storm Assault and discover the fascinating stories it has to tell. The Battalion, Marines was assigned the G-Day missions of 1 providing security in the division zone forward of the Saudi defensive berm, which was located on the Saudi-Kuwait border prior to G-Day, 2 passing through the breach lanes, and 3 clearing its zone of action to support the attack north, and 4 screening to the northeast in order to allow Battalion, 10th Marines to establish artillery firing positions to provide preparation fires for offensive operations. Phase 1 was the conduct of the route reconnaissance by TOWs, heavy machine guns HMG, combat engineers, snipers, and artillery reconnaissance assets. Phase 2 was the introduction of 1 motorized infantry company, the battalion command element, and the 81 mortar platoon in the forward sector. The motorized company would be placed in a blocking position oriented northwest, facing possible Iraqi units being flushed out by 2nd LAR screening to the northwest. The teams were tasked to position themselves between the Iraqi defenses and friendly artillery to screen the Iraqi forward defensive belt and orient to the northeast. Phase 3 would be the movement of the artillery units to their firing positions on 23 February 1991, G1, under the cover of darkness. On 22 February 1991, G-Day-2, commenced combat operations as bulldozers cut 3 gaps in the Saipan to Iwo and to execute their missions. Approximately halfway through Phase 1, the 8th Marines further tasked to provide a forward air controller close to the Iraqi defenses to control an airstrike on a pumping station in the Gudea oil field, which had been determined to be a high-priority target. This required the 81 mortar element to move forward of their assigned position in order to range the target for backup marking capability. A number of Iraqi infantry and trucks were observed in and around the Iraqi trench line. In the waning daylight of 22 February 1991, the Iraqis were engaged by the forward 81 mortars. Simultaneously, the forward air controller FAC attempted to direct close air support CAS onto the assigned target. However, smoke and haze from the burning oil field obscured the target from the FAC, making laser designation impossible. Company I quickly and effectively searched and cleared a large compound located forward of the Iraqi defenses, discovering that, although unoccupied, it had been recently used by Iraqi forces as a major supply cache and observation point. The compound was prepared for demolition by combat engineers, and subsequently completely destroyed. Artillery fire was requested on the Iraqi defenses and Battery F responded, as well as organic 81 mortar fire. The direct fire capability of combined with the indirect fire destroyed 5 BTRs, 3 BDRMS, 8 tanks TR-62 and inflicted approximately 52 Iraqi kills. 10-20 Iraqis emerged from their trenches and made their way through their minefields to members of the 81 mortar platoon, quickly mobilized enemy prisoners of war POW processing teams which sped the POWs to the rear. The POWs were determined to be from the Iraqi 1st Battalion, Brigade, 29th Infantry Division. Ultimately, the battalion captured 238 POWs, to include an Iraqi battalion commander, and sustained no friendly casualties. At 6:15 on 25 February 1991, passed through the breach with 8th Marines, with the bulk of the battalion mounted on 5-ton trucks. During the execution of this part of the operation, Company H captured 20 POWs, sustaining no friendly casualties. Was directed to continue the movement to contact north with 8th Marines as the motorized battalion reserve. The 8th Marine Regimental Commander's intent was to utilize for an envelopment, blocking force, MOUT operations, MSE security, flank screen security, or POW security. As the tactical situation developed during the movement to contact on, it became evident that Marine Division was outdistancing 1st Marine Division, creating a gap between the two divisions. Was assigned the mission of providing flank security for the eastern flank of Marine Division and on the western flank of 1st Marine Division. As the battalion continued north to re-establish contact with after being slowed down by NBC alerts, the main body of the battalion received fire from a farm complex to its right front. Upon receiving incoming small arms rounds, Company H deployed to clear its zone of sniper and harassing fire. The Iraqis broke contact and the battalion prepared to continue its movement north. Upon observing armored vehicles through the TOW thermal sights, the thermal signatures of at least 9 Iraqis were identified. Was cleared to engage and destroy. Direct fire weapons were used to destroy a number of enemy vehicles. The exact number of kills could not be determined due to the darkness, smoke, and numerous secondary explosions. However, it was readily apparent that these vehicles had been well stocked with munitions. At 23:30 on 26 February 1991, was subsequently directed to continue clearing the farm complex from which fire had been received the previous day. The number of Iraqi troops in the area was still undetermined due to the large number of bunkers and buildings in the complex. 8th Marine Regimental Headquarters dispatched tanks from Company C, 4th Tank Battalion, and directed that the tanks lead the infantry sweep order to minimize possible friendly casualties. At 1400, the tank platoon engaged at least 8 enemy tanks. The secondary explosion of an enemy vehicle caused 1 WIA and 1 KIA from 4th Tank Battalion. The operation was ceased and the battalion was directed to be prepared to execute the clearing mission in Al-Shadidiyah, Kuwait the following day. The total battle damage assessment BDA at the farm complex to that point was the destruction of 12 bombs, 2 bombs, 9 T-62 tanks, 2 T-72 tanks, and 1 ammunition bunker. Moved further northeast to an assembly area in preparation for execution of the Al-Shadidiyah MOUT operation. On their way, the lead element of the main body, Company I, came under sniper and RPG fire. Company I immediately returned fire. Company H, in the rear of the column, was immediately directed to conduct an infantry sweep of the area from which fire had been received. At 800 on 28 February 1991, offensive hostilities were officially suspended. 3rd Battalion 23rd Marines were directed by 8th Marines to return to the farm complex with an infantry force, sweep the area, and then move combat engineers in to destroy the balance of remaining enemy equipment. Welcome to the next segment, where we explore Operation Enduring Freedom and Operation Iraqi Freedom 2003-2008 and its significance in our journey. Was mobilized on 5 March 2003 and deployed to Iraq with the 2nd Marine Division's Task Force Tower located in Al-Qut. Commanded by Lieutenant David Couvillon of Brussels, Louisiana, conducted a relief in place with Task Force Tower, becoming responsible for the entire Wasit province of Iraq. Subsequently attached to the 1st Marine Division, conducted stability and security operations SASO through August 2003. Lieutenant Couvillon, acting also as military provincial governor, and the Marines are supported by Marine and Army civil affairs groups, as well as an Army military police company set about re-establishing government services, security actions, humanitarian actions, border security Iraqi, and general governance until relieved by a Ukrainian infantry brigade in September 2003. Was mobilized for Operation Iraqi Freedom on 17 May 2007. They were then stationed in Camp Layin, NC to begin training for upcoming combat operations in Al-Anbar, Iraq, and all supporting units deployed to Haditha, Iraq, in late September 2007, conducting counter-IED operations, patrols, convoys, raids, and basic support and stability operations throughout Haditha and surrounding Al-Anbar areas until April 2008, when they returned to the United States and demobilized. Get ready to uncover the mysteries surrounding Africa in 2009 as we navigate its intriguing terrain. Deployed to Morocco and the Republic of Benin, West Africa, during May and June 2009 for annual training. They participated in Exercise African Lion and Shared Accord 2009. The mission of the Marine Corps, under command of Marine Forces Africa United States Africa Command, was to provide security for humanitarian operations and train side by side with their Moroccan counterparts, the Royal Moroccan Armed Forces, and the Republic of Benin Armed Forces. Exercise African Lion is an annually scheduled, joint, combined U.S.-Moroccan exercise. It brings together nearly 2,000 U.S. service members from locations throughout Europe and North America with more than 900 members of the Royal Moroccan Armed Forces. It is the largest exercise within the U.S. Africa Command area of responsibility and is designed to promote interoperability and mutual understanding of each nation's military tactics, techniques, and procedures. Get ready for an enlightening exploration as we dig into Hurricane Katrina and understand its role in the broader context. The headquarters for 3rd Battalion, 23rd Marine Regiment, was caught in the middle of Hurricane Katrina in late 2005. The majority of the battalion's members were authorized to provide security for their families and leave the immediate area. A contingent of Marines volunteered to stay behind and assist the local community, as well as act as a liaison for the 24th Marine Expeditionary Unit, who was deployed to the region to assist with disaster relief. In the following segment, we'll be examining notable former members in greater detail. Private First Class Clinton M. Cock, Navy Cross Private First Class Josiah Scott Bell, Navy Cross Private First Class Douglas T. Jacobson, Medal of Honor Howard Johnson, killed in action during the Battle of Iwo Jima Jamie Johnson Frank Gambino, Navy Cross Gunnery Sergeant at Ease South. McGinn, Jr., Navy Cross John H. Yancey, circa 1946-1950 Corporal Cook Stephen E., Navy Achievement Medal. In the following segment, we'll be examining awards in greater detail. Presidential Unit Citation World War EMEF Iraq 2003 Navy Unit Commendation with 3 Bronze Stars World War II Desert Storm IIMEF Iraq 2007 National Defense Medal with 2 Bronze Stars World War II Desert Storm War on Terror Asiatic Pacific Campaign Medal with 4 Arrowheads World War II World War I Victory Medal Navy Meritorious Unit Commendation 1990-91 Southwest Asia Service Medal with 2 Bronze Stars Desert Shield Desert Storm Global War on Terrorism Expeditionary Medal Iraq 2003 Global War on Terrorism Service Medal Iraq Campaign Medal with 3 Bronze Stars 2003-2008 Kuwait Liberation Saudi Arabia Kuwait Liberation Kuwait Combat Action Ribbon Desert Storm Navy Sea Service Deployment Ribbon Desert Storm Afghanistan Campaign Medal with 1 Bronze Star 2018 Joint Meritorious Unit Citation Afghanistan. If you have any suggestions for future videos, feel free to drop them in the comment section.